week. Alabama and Auburn, also Thanksgiving week. Getting that turkey, gobble, gobble. Getting that turkey and all things we're thankful for this week. We're rocking and rolling right here. Hottest show on the streets, number one form, giving you that Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Got my man Eli Walker in the production studio, and we're happy to have you guys here. We're bringing you the show, Magic City of Birmingham, streaming this to you via YouTube. Speaking of the channel, you know what time it is. If you're new to this, hit the subscribe button right now. Stop all that you're doing. Hit subscribe. Smash subscribe right now on the YouTube channel so that way you miss nothing. If you want nothing but hardcore, full-on, non-stop Bama, if you crave it, if it's an addiction, hit the subscribe button to get that fix. All things Bama football. Also, don't forget to like the show. Hit that like button. Give us a thumbs up right there. Make us your show, your network, platform, channel, and space to talk Bama. We're trying to get this thing starting off 50 likes. Starting off. Hit the like button. Appreciate you guys. Also, all donations welcomed and appreciated. That daily super chat go $100. Daily super chat go $100 there. We appreciate all the support coming from you, the Alabama football fans. Turn on those notifications right there. Hit that notification bell so you miss no alerts. Talking Bama football. We appreciate you guys. And we got a great one this evening. Got a good one. You'll be able to lay down a little bit of this Iron Bowl preview. Carnell, Cadillac Williams. You know, Cadillac's got the Tigers believing that they can come into Bryant-Denny this weekend, get a win over Alabama here in the Iron Bowl. But Nick Saban and the Tide trying to finish the season strong. We understand no more SEC championship running on the table. College football playoff is very slim. Not saying that there's absolutely no hope, but very slim nonetheless. So Saban's like, guys, finish strong. Let's give ourselves something to look forward to. You look at next spring and next season. But we want to hear this from you, the Alabama football family. You can do this by calling 205-448-1358, the number to call in to let your voice be made known. 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. We want to hear from you. Your thoughts, your opinions, your viewpoints, your events, your tears, whatever you feel like doing. Want to hear from you here on today. But we're going to get into topic number one of the conversation here, Eli, and that first topic is going to go to Bryce Young and Will Anderson today. Both guys spoke to reporters during the media availability period, and a lot of sentimental questions coming from the Alabama football media, and that being, will the Iron Bowl be the last time we see these two young men on Alabama's leadership council in an Alabama uniform? We know Bryce and Will have NFL dreams written on them. Both of these two will be top 5 selections, top 5 draft picks in April's NFL draft. April of next season, of course. But is this game against Auburn the final time we will see Bryce Young and Will Anderson in an Alabama uniform? Remember, Coach Saban got both of them as 5 stars in the 2020 class. Bryce Young from California, Will Anderson from Georgia. You know, both guys were on the Tide's 2020 perfect, undefeated national championship team, college football playoff era, COVID-shortened season, and we all wanted both of these two to win multiple championships as starters on this team, but unfortunately that will not come into fruition, especially, this year. And all the sentimental questions of, Bryce, will this be y'all's last year? Have y'all thought about it? Has it been discussed? Has it crossed your minds? If it is your last game, what would it mean for you? to have it in Bryant-Denny in the Iron Bowl in a huge rivalry against Auburn. What would this mean to be y'all's final game? And in contemplating this, neither of the two are ruling out that it will not be the last game. However, that they're both handling this from a business, professional standpoint, which it's, we're taking things one thing at a time, one day at a time. And you expect for Bryce and Will to say that. They both talked about, hey, we're just trying to be leaders on this football team. We're just trying to put our guys, our teammates in the best position to be successful and win football games. And absolutely, that's what you want two of your guys on the leadership team to say. But when you look at, this day and age of college football, Eli, you know as well as I do, and our fans out there know it also, and Coach Saban has talked about it, ever since the installment of the playoff back in 2014, the bowl system has no legit meaning anymore. Because it's, if I'm not in the top 4 seeds of the playoff or in the top 12 seeds, as the CFP could expand with 12 teams down the road, if the point being, if I'm not in the playoff, it doesn't matter. If I'm not in the playoff, does my season really truly matter? That's what's becoming. Because it's being made about the playoff. It's the playoff, and everybody else becomes the stepchildren going into a bowl game. So, with that being said, you look at several players that see that as, okay, if I'm not going into the playoff, and I know I'm a top 5, top 10, top 15, top 20 draft pick going into the next year's NFL venue, why risk an injury? Why risk, my investment when I can, kind of sit this thing out and prepare myself to work out toward the NFL? Now, I'm not saying this is on Bryce's mind or Will's mind. Of course I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that the average player, in this day and age, it's kind of how they're thinking. And when you look at Bryce Young, of whom I've said this before, his numbers this season far more impressive than what they were a season ago when he won the Heisman Trophy, because look at what Bryce has had to overcome this year versus last year. At least last year, he had 2 consistent receivers he could trust in Jamison Williams and John Mechie. This year, he doesn't have a number 1 guy that, he can trust out there on the field. And, this season, you have to overcome Bill O'Brien. You have to overcome receivers dropping passes and not being consistent. You had to overcome, a lack of the run game, not a lack of a run game, but a lack of trust in the run game. I'll put it like that. You had to overcome, offensive linemen having games where they're up and down and you're running for your life as a quarterback. You had to overcome a sprained AC joint to your throwing shoulder. Now, of course, Bryce mentioned today in media availability that his shoulder is good now, but you see how much Bryce had to overcome. And with numbers, he's still 24 touchdown passes, 27 total touchdowns, and just 4 picks. Still very impressive numbers, despite all of this. So, now he's won several awards in his career, including the Heisman Trophy last year, becoming the 4th Alabama player to win the trophy and the first quarterback to win the Heisman. He will not repeat as the Heisman winner, but it's going to be interesting to see what Bryce does, especially if you think about it. I'm pretty sure he and his dad, Mr. Craig Young, have had several conversations about this. Son, you're going to be top 5 draft pick. You're probably going to be, the number 1 overall player taken in the draft. You may be the number 1 quarterback taken in the draft. You don't have to over-push this. You don't have to overthink this. I'm pretty sure those conversations are being had behind closed doors, absolutely. But Bryce did say, hey, my one focus right now is his Iron Bowl because of what it means to him, what it means to the players, and everybody in the state that respects and reveres this game as one of, if not arguably the best rivalry in all of college sports. Now, for Will Anderson, he is the reigning Bronco Nagurski Award winner. Could repeat the Nagurski Award. He is one of 4 finalists in that mix right now. And yes, his numbers not the same as they've been the last 2 seasons, but part of that has been, Will Anderson being doubled and triple teamed, and opponents have been using running backs and tight ends to chip block on him. Opposing teams have been running the ball away from him and rolling quarterbacks away from his side. Some of this has also been, Pete Golding not scheming to get him free consistently in one-on-one situations. So it's a different bag of things as to why, Anderson's numbers are not the same as they were the last 2 seasons. I could also look into, having a new outside linebackers coach. And no offense to Coleman Hutzler, great young man with great energy, but Sal Sunseri's a dog. Sal Sunseri is just one of those difference makers. I have to think of Coach Sal as a member of the Italian Mafia. Maybe he is a part of the Italian Mafia. I don't know. I want violence. That's violent. Maybe Sal is a part of the Italian Mafia. Who knows? But when Sal was out there, Will Anderson, his first 2 years of Sal, we're talking, 25 sacks combined. Those first 2 years, 25, 26 sacks combined. We're talking about, near 50 tackles for loss combined in the first 2 years. So Sal Sunseri, he knows how to get the best out of outside linebackers. And not having him as an on-field coach this season, you better believe it, that had some effect there on Anderson's numbers this campaign. But, he mentioned also wanting to be a leader, making sure everybody knows how to run things around here, professional, strong, productive manner. And we also mentioned wanting to get this Iron Bowl win. He has not been thinking about his next move in terms of turning pro. But very interesting how in today's press conference, and I was there, and just the bunch of sentimental questions thrown to Bryce and Will concerning their potential pro future, and is this the last time, the Iron Bowl, where we see both of these two in an Alabama jersey? But we'll see how they take it. It could be the last time. They could play the bowl game. We'll see how Bryson will take it. But we go to our first break on the show. Don't touch that dial, just getting started. Upon our return, we go to the phone lines. We grab your thoughts, your questions, your conversations, your chats. Ring the phone lines, bring in everything. We'll get to you after this.
Nine players have teamed up and released the Alabama Team Paper, which is a video yearbook they've put out for sale direct to fans. Now, for the first time, small dollar purchases from the fans can support the players as a group as well as a great cause, because $1 of every subscription payment is donated to the Boys and Girls Club of America. Be a 5-star fan base and support your team and a great cause with Team Paper. Check it out at teampaper.com/Alabama.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
And we're back into the action from the break here on a Monday. Like I said, getting that work week, that Iron Bowl week, that Thanksgiving week, all the turkey you can have right there on the hottest show on the streets, talking Bama football news. In my own word, yours truly, Stephen Smith here of TDA. My man Jimmy Clay, high on that Alabama soccer, the women's soccer team having a strong season. They got Duke taking on the Blue Devils today. Alabama soccer trying to position itself for a huge championship. Potential national title here for the soccer program. Also, Alabama men's basketball. Nate Oates, the team starting off strong. You've got length, you got athleticism, you got guys that can attack the basket, you got three-point shooting, you got defense with Brandon Miller and Charles Bediako and the rest of the gang. Once Javon Quinterly and Darius Miles get back, I mean, this team is going to be just a wrecking crew, hopefully. As long as guys can stay healthy. That's always the main thing that bothers me sometimes with men's basketball. The talent's there. Guys get hurt at the wrong time. So knocking on wood. Guys stay healthy. Keep all the length out there on the court. Play great basketball out there, Coach Oates. Guys, shout out 6-0 with that $50 donation to Super Chats. Appreciate 6-0. Dancing Steven does also. Continue hitting that like button. Hit that like button. Give us that thumbs up here on the show. Trying to get this thing 100 likes, baby. 100 likes on the show. Continue hitting that thumbs up right there. All donations welcome and appreciated in the Super Chats. We go right now to the In My Own Words hotline, but the phone lines to grab your calls. Call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. Number to call in, 205-448-1358. We grab this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name. Where you calling from?
Hey, this is Mark from Huntsville.
Mark, what's going on, man?
Hey, man, I just wanted to I heard something earlier. I don't always get a chance to call in, but I listen, and I just wanted to give a quick scenario. I know you got Alabama out of the playoffs already, put them in a bowl game, but I wanted to just looking at the teams in front of them. Mathematically, 3 of them have to lose. So Bama right now sits at 7. Do the math, and that puts Bama at 4. Now, that would the only thing that would, and this means Alabama would have to look really good against Auburn. But talk to us about why Alabama is already automatically out.
Well, right. I'm not saying that it's automatically out. I'm just saying that the chances right now are slim that you get 3 teams to lose. Not saying it cannot happen, because we've seen the crazy things happen in college football. It's just with this Alabama team, Mark, it's been a different story, all year. There are moments where they look good. There are moments where they have struggled. They have not been the most consistent. They've been up and down, whether it's offense, defense, or special teams. There are times you look at the sideline at Coach Saban, and he looks as if to say, what's going on with these guys? What am I doing wrong? I can't seem to quite get their attention. And just having that in a playoff with an Ohio State that's clicking, a Georgia that's clicking, a TCU that's found something under Garrett Riley. A TCU that's found something there. It's just not the best case scenario, in my opinion, just due to this is an Alabama team that has not shown that it can be the enforcer, this season.
Oh, yeah, and, if you look at those teams you talked about, really Michigan, I think the committee, they've talked about this. I mean, Michigan has not looked very good. They've won, but they win ugly. But they have won. No team is dominant other than Georgia. But I'll let someone else get on. But I wanted to ask you this. When I mentioned 3 teams are going to lose, I mean, they are going to lose. LSU will lose to Georgia. That gets them out. Then you've got the loser of Michigan, Ohio State will be out. So bump Bama up 2. That puts them at 5. And so stranger things have happened. I still believe, what if, hey, Bama may get the 4 seed. I don't think it's that far out. I mean, we may be number 5 looking out. So, normally Alabama's been the 4 seed. We get the 4 seed and Ohio State's been looking out. But it could be this year we're the 5 and we get left out. So, anyway, I do agree with everything you said, and enjoy the show.
I appreciate my man Mark calling in from Huntsville right there. Chaos could ensue. We did see Tennessee lose to South Carolina, got towed up by South Carolina. But, I mean, you look at this. I still go back to 2011 in the BCS era. Alabama lost to LSU in the 6-9 game at Bryant-Denny. Several teams lost in the weeks after that, which put Alabama back in the driver's seat. So it can happen. It very well can happen. But we'll just see, does the chaos ensue rivalry week, which is this week? We'll grab this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, Steve, now, Mr. Robert from Mobile.
Robert, what's happening, man?
Hey, all due respect to your previous caller, like you said, the mathematical odds are just ginormously against Alabama. I think when somebody said one of the numbers 14%, and getting even lower as the games go on. Even if Michigan or Ohio State lose, one of them loses, they're still a one-loss team versus a two-loss Alabama. So how can you and the committee put a two-loss Alabama in over a one-loss Michigan or a one-loss Ohio State? So right now Alabama needs them to lose two, and that's just not going to happen now. So, I mean, it's possible, but it's just the chaos that would ensue if they put a two-loss Alabama in over a one-loss Michigan is, no one's going to be good with that. So, I mean, we missed our chance. The only thing that really big thing that bugs me is there is no unbeatable team in this season like there was, when Alabama 2020 or LSU 2019. Teams that just were so head and shoulders above everybody, nobody was going to beat them. And because Georgia is not, a juggernaut. They were better last year than they are this year, right now. And Alabama beat them last year when they were healthy. And Ohio State also. I mean, all of these teams struggled against below-average opponents over this weekend. Georgia struggled against Kentucky, and Ohio State struggled against Maryland. A bunch of points. That's what really gets us about this team. There have been Alabama teams that didn't win championship. They would absolutely run them through this season, all the teams this season, because they were special on at least one side of the ball. Either special on either elite on one side of the ball. Either we have the elite defense or we have the elite offense. Right now, that's the biggest problem with Alabama. Neither side of the ball is elite. By elite, I mean, the top 1, 2, or 3 in all of college football. Usually Alabama have the top 1, 2, or 3, and 1 or 2 defense in all of college football. Our defense will be elite, and our offense will be good enough. And we could win a championship with that. In 2020, our offense was elite. Our defense was good enough, and we won a championship with that. This year, neither side of the ball is elite, in the top 1, 2, or 3. In fact, neither side of the ball, the offense or the defense, is in the top 7 or 8. And therein lies the problem of why we lost 2 games this season. If we had at least one side of the ball that was top 2, 1, 2, or 3 elite, we could still win it. And these teams are eminently beatable. Like was the 2017 team with Jalen Hurts when we barely lost to Clemson on the last play. That team would destroy college football this year. I mean, it would be ugly how they would win. But because we've fallen off, everybody's coming close to each other, which, again, brings why you need a 12-team playoff. A 12-team playoff this season is royally made for a 12-team playoff. Alabama is just maybe a switch away, some switch. They could turn it on in the 12-team playoff. They could run and still win this whole thing. That's how close they are. They're not Georgia isn't light years better than Alabama. Neither is Ohio State. It's just a switch that we can't find to turn on to get this team fired up to win a championship. And that's what makes it so disappointing this season is there is no juggernaut team out there that's so much better than we are. This is just their year. No, I don't see that in Georgia or Ohio State. They just happen to be their schedule just lined up to where their home games have been the tough teams they played at home, and their road teams have been teams that they can easily beat at home or on the road. Whereas Alabama's the opposite, and that's what the unfortunate part about this season. It's still there for the taking if the team would just find some switch to turn on that can get them in the gear. And in a playoff, if it was a 12-team playoff, that could be done. It's possible. That's why I used to argue with people who say we didn't need a 12-team playoff. You guys are just watching college football. In a name, image, and likeness, and the transfer portal, these teams are going to start getting close to Alabama really quick. And that's what we're getting. We're getting close to this parity in college football. These teams are getting close to each other, which is all the more reason you need a expanded playoff to take advantage of that. And like you just said earlier about the bowl games becoming meaningless, that's how you fix that too. You expand the playoff and you have a more meaningful postseason. But college football, as usual, is slow to make positive change. The NFL had the perfect model for college football for decades. That would have worked even better for college football than it would in the NFL. The college football fans are even more rowdy for a postseason game. Can you imagine seeing in a college town in a postseason game, a playoff game, the playoff atmosphere in a college football town? It'd it'd be all off the chain. But they've missed a huge advantage of it. Now, since they all need money, they're waking up to it. COVID has forced them to where they all need money now. So now they're waking up to something that's been there for decades. But oh well, better late than never, I guess. Unfortunately for us and this team and Bryce Young, there is no expanded playoff, so they can't get a chance to flip that switch on and run the table. But oh well.
Appreciate my man Robert from Mobile calling in, giving his thoughts here on a Monday. And not only the fact that Alabama normally has either the offensive side of the ball or the defensive side of the ball elite, but it's always had at least one elite coordinator. Whether the coordinator's on offense, whether the guys on defense, it's always had at least one elite coordinator. There have been a couple of years where both coordinators have been elite at the top of their game, i.e. 2015 when you had Lane Kiffin and Kirby Smart. Both guys were elite. But more times than not, Alabama has had at least one elite coordinator. This year, you had your offensive guy, Bill O'Brien, and your defensive guy, Pete Golden, When you have two, it just doesn't work. But we grab this call. Here you're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
How's it going, Steve? It's Tobias. How's it going, sir?
Doing great, man. And yourself?
I'm doing great. Doing just wonderful, man. This is a great football season. A lot of parity going on, and I like I like your reflection on things, and that last caller as well. He always has great takes on what's happening. I haven't been a fan of the 12-team playoffs simply for the fact that I think the season games need to matter. And what my fear is that they will matter less, especially if you don't cut off the 130 teams, 120 teams. You can't have 120 teams, man. You got to have maybe 50 that have a shot, and the other teams play in some type of other league or sub-league, and then it'll become valuable. So then we won't have any cupcake games or anything like that. That's the way my mind is since we're going to the 12-team playoff. But in terms of Bama getting in, I agree with you, Steve. I don't see that happening, but chaos can ensue. The two previous callers ago was speaking about Ohio State and Michigan, but really you're looking at Clemson and USC from my vantage point. I think if SC runs the table and wins the Pac-12 championship, they would have a leg in. They're about to play Notre Dame this week, and if they beat Notre Dame and win the Pac-12 championship, they have something to say about being in. If TCU runs the table, I still think another team that didn't run the table but won their conference, the committee will have a big debate with that. I think Clemson, though, is an outlier as well. I do know that they lost to Notre Dame, so that's going to hurt them. But that's going to hurt them in comparison to Ohio State. If Ohio State loses to Michigan, I can't see them putting Clemson in over Ohio State. And if it's a close game, now it can't be a blowout. But if it's like, 24-20 or something like that, comes down to the last, bit of the game, I can't see them putting Clemson over Ohio State, even with Clemson being a ACC champion. That'll be a big debate. And so LSU obviously would have to lose and could possibly lose this week. So let's not act like that's not a real thing this week. Even though that's a falling program that they're going into, you never know when kids are going to catch fire. So anyway, all in all, Steve, I think it's kind of a wrap for Alabama, but I'm interested to see how all the pegs fall. I thought that Michigan was going to lose this week. I watched most of that game, and I thought Ohio State really could have lost. And this goes to something that you said, man, and I appreciate. By the way, I'm sitting here talking to you, but I'm watching the show on TV. Your team has the most professional look. I mean, you guys rival anybody when it comes to the quality of the production, what's happening during the show. By the way, I heard you ask that question earlier today to Nick Saban, man. I told you always ask a great question. Man, please stay humble, man, and do your thing. You go into the top, Steve. This is like amazing. But anyway, with that said, when you really think about what you have been saying all year long, coaching does matter. I was trying to give these guys an opportunity to get it turned around, but coaching matters, man. And you've been beating the drum on it about O'Brien and the defensive coordinator. But this weekend was a perfect example of that. There's no way that Bielema and them should have lost. That came down to coaching, man. They had Michigan done, but did not manage that game properly. And then on the flip side, look at South Carolina. That roster is riddled with 3-star athletes. And I was saying this earlier this year, everyone always 5-star this, 5-star. We got 5-star, 2. It ain't about that only, man. You have to develop players. I like McCoy when he's on your show. He always is just bringing the noise with that. Players have to be developed. They have to have the right mentality. South Carolina, that was not a fluke. I watched that game. They beat Tennessee up. Now, they did have the opportunity to watch the Alabama tape, to watch the LSU tape, they did have that opportunity, and that's what happens in football. But, man, credit to South Carolina coaching staff because they made the adjustment before the game and in game to make sure that Tennessee was done. The other caller said something about Georgia. Georgia has warts. Georgia does have warts. I'm not sure that anybody can expose those warts, though, at this point. I've watched a lot of football this year, and I don't see where it's going to be exposed. Anyway, with that said, it look like we're at $64.99 for our goal. I'll drop some money in the chat, man. I appreciate you always, support you always. Roll Tide.
Appreciate my man Tobias from Fresno calling in right there to the show. And it is interesting. It is very interesting because, Eli, I was watching the TCU Bangor game. I thought Bangor had TCU. TCU at the end in a fire drill, they get the guys on the field to kick the field goal and win the game right there. I thought Bangor had TCU. So it's going to be interesting to see how this rivalry week pans out, which is this week right here. But we grab this call. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
What's up, Steven? Been a while. It's Chris from Ballard Sports Media.
What's going on, Chris?
Not much, man. Just a great win this past Saturday. I want to go ahead and wish everyone a blessed and happy Thanksgiving. I hope y'all eat a lot of great food and enjoy time with friends and family. But that means for us Alabama fans, it's time for the Iron Bowl. And what better way than to have it at Bryant-Denny? I don't sleep on Auburn. You know, this is a big rivalry in the state of Alabama. It's a big rivalry. I know that what's at stake for Auburn is if they do get an upset, it'll be their 6th win of the year, and they will be bowl eligible with the interim coach in Cadillac Williams, who I thought coached the game well last week for Auburn. there's people don't realize, like if Alabama does fail to lose this game or fail to win, you realize it'll be the first time in a long time we don't have 10 wins. And then also, like I just mentioned, Auburn wins, they're bowl eligible. It's a big rivalry game in the Iron Bowl. I don't sleep on it. I do want to ask you, though, I got two questions. As far as this Iron Bowl goes, how do we take last week's performance against Austin Peay and up our game this week?
Well, number one, Chris, Bama's going to have to match the intensity of Auburn because Cadillac Williams has got these guys running through a brick wall. I don't think he will be the head coach for the Tigers, but what he has done, when you look at what he was as a running back for the Auburn program, and now he's on that staff as a coach, and how those players have responded to him and how he has responded to those guys, Alabama's going to have to come out and match that intensity from the moment they get out of a tunnel. Bama can't have coming out the tunnel, slow, sleepwalking, lethargic. It can't have that. It has to come out of that tunnel ready to match Auburn's intensity inch for inch, because you're right. If you lose this Iron Bowl, this will be the first time since 2007 in the Nick Saban era where you do not have a 10-win season. Alabama started its 10-win season under Coach Saban back in 2008, where it went 12-2. So you do not want to break that trend. You do not want to be the team to drop the ball on that success. So number one, you're going to have to match Auburn's intensity right out of a tunnel.
Absolutely. I would fully agree with you. And then, you just got to match what Auburn does. I just think they were poorly coached with Brian Harsin. I don't think it's a lack of talent or skilled players or anything. I think they got the players, and I think they can match up with Alabama, at least to an extent. But I do want to ask you about a specific player because I saw quite a bit from him last week. Talk to me. What's your thoughts on Jace McClellan as far as rising up? I know Jahmyr Gibbs is our guy this year as a transfer, but it seems like is our next premier back Jace McClellan?
It feels like it is, Chris, because when you watch Jace run, he reminds you of the Brian Robinsons. He reminds you of the Josh Jacobs. He reminds you of kind of that Derrick Henry power. And I understand those guys may have brought a different skill set than Jace does. Jace is a bit more compact in his frame. But if you watch the ferocity and how he finishes his runs, it's like a Josh Jacobs. It's like a Brian Robinson. It's kind of like a Derrick Henry, how he ends those runs. There's a few plays where he's just mowing guys over, just beating them down, and he gets up and he flexes on those guys like, yeah, I'm here. I just ran you over. I mean, we all knew when Jace came in 2020, we all knew Jace would be good. We all knew he would be a dynamic back. And of course, he got hurt last season against Ole Miss. And I think we're starting to see Jace McClellan healthy, Jace McClellan stronger. He worked with Brad Lester, former Auburn running back during the offseason. I think now we're starting to see what a healthy, determined, angry Jace McClellan looks like. And I love it out there.
Me too, man. I think he's got a bright future with Alabama, and I think he's definitely got a bright future on the next level. Thank you so much for taking my call, Steven. I love you guys. Love Alabama football. Let's go beat Auburn on Saturday, and y'all have a blessed Thanksgiving. Woohoo! Roll Tide.
Appreciate my man Chris Ballard, Sports Media, calling out of Coleman, Alabama, the Birmingham area right here. We go to this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, Steven, this is Kyron from Albuquerque, Kyran. How you doing?
Doing great, Kyron, and yourself?
Doing pretty good, man. I just haven't called in a little while. I had a thought. We've been kind of talking, harping on how awful the coordinators have been all season, and rightfully so. I mean, it's no secret, not only within the program, but outside the program, how unsatisfied we are with the coordinators. But I will say, though, I believe there's hope for the next season. I feel this next season's team is going to look a lot different, and partly because Bill O'Brien more than likely will be gone. His contract's up in February. Not too sure about Pete Golding, but I say that because we still have to realize Nick Saban is Nick Saban, right? So I think this season was really a wake-up call for him in terms of things that have gone on in the transition that college football is going through with NIL and transfer portal, et cetera. Nick Saban has an ego. And I know that's a negative connotation usually, but we all have ego. And there's one thing that Nick Saban has not yet achieved. When you look at his career at Alabama, he's had 4 Heisman Trophy winners, 6 national championships. He has all the money in the world, but there's one thing that he has not achieved. There's one thing, and that is to have the outright record for national championships at Alabama. I know right now he's tied with Bear Bryant. And I feel that he thinks about that every single day, and I know he wants to accomplish and be number one, and thinks about that every single day. So that's something, and I feel that this season showed him, and now in the offseason he's going to do whatever's necessary. If that's getting rid of O'Brien and the defensive coordinator, he's going to do that. Because remember, this man is 71 years old and a multi-millionaire. How many 71-year-old millionaires choose to get up and deal with the attitudes of 20-year-olds every day? I know if I was 71 and a millionaire, I'm at the lake or something. I'm not dealing with kids every day. And so I feel like that's that one thing that he has to accomplish that he's working towards. And honestly, Steven, people are going to call me crazy. I feel that if Alabama had won the title this year, I kind of feel like he would have retired, because after that, there's nothing else for him to accomplish, nothing else for him to chase. He's done everything, but this is that one thing. And I think that's what keeps him going. What do you think, Steve?
Kyron, I like that. I thought about that myself. I mean, I look at this. Coach Saban wants to stand alone, and right now he is tied with Bear Bryant for the most championships at Alabama, that being 6. Actually, 3 coaches are tied with 6 championships at Alabama. Bear Bryant with 6, Nick Saban with 6 at Alabama. And people forget, before she retired, Sarah Patterson, Alabama gymnastics, 6 national titles in her own credit. So Saban wants to stand alone there. When you look at the conversation of he and Bear Bryant, I thought about that, Kyron. Good point there.
Thanks, Steve, and appreciate your show. I think I listen to every show this season, so keep it going.
Absolutely. Appreciate Kyron there calling in from Albuquerque, helping us out here on the show. I thought about that, Eli. I really did. Coach Saban wanting to stand alone. He's tied with Bear Bryant, 6 national championships apiece in terms of Alabama. Of course, Saban has his 7th one, but that came in 2003 at LSU. So that being number 1 all time, just Alabama, period, definitely something that Saban is keeping on the forefront of his mind in terms of motivation. But we grab this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Steven, what's happening in Birmingham on this Monday night? What's going on, man? Give me some good word.
Well, President Wayne, I'm doing great. I am doing great, man. I'm preparing myself for Thanksgiving. Soccer team's doing well. Bama men's basketball, I'm loving what Coach Nate Oates is doing so far. And, Coach Saban, he's getting the guys geared up to match the intensity of an Auburn team under Cadillac Williams as the interim coach that's trying to become a bowl eligible this year. But I'm looking forward to Saturday's Iron Bowl in Tuscaloosa as we honor some seniors, but at the same time, get that 10th win of the season.
Yep, it's Iron Bowl week. That's what we're all looking forward to. That's what I'm looking forward to. I've always looked forward to this game, no matter if we win and going to a national championship, going to SEC championship, no matter where we're going. It's Auburn week. We got to beat Auburn. That's what it's all about. It's not the only game on the schedule, but it's a very important game on the schedule. So we need to take Auburn and just, I love what Cadillac's doing with this Auburn week, Alabama-Auburn week. I hate to tell him that Alabama's going to jerk the soul out of Auburn, and I don't know. I guess they'll just get over it after they leave Bryant-Denny on Saturday, and maybe they will. But anyway, I've been reading a few little articles, too, about this 12-team playoff and some stuff Sankey's put out. I don't know. We're going to go probably divisionless. We're not going to have any divisions. We're going to be a super conference. There's going to be a lot of things that's turned around here by 2025 once Oklahoma and Texas does join up. So if you like this kind of football, you better enjoy it because there's going to be some major changes. Start reading articles. He's putting them out there, giving you the heads up what he's going to do. So better start reading them and looking what's coming here in college football. It may get a little worse before it gets better. I don't know. It may get better if we got a super conference. We'll see in 2025 if we'll lie. But happy Thanksgiving week to everybody. Once again, it's Auburn, Alabama week. Let's beat Auburn. It's an important game. We got to take them out. We at Bryant-Denny. We got to take them out, send them back to Auburn with a head tucked between their legs, and let them know who the real college is in the state of Alabama, the University of Alabama. We love everybody. Y'all be safe. We'll see y'all again probably Friday if we have a show. If not, y'all enjoy the week. Enjoy the games on Saturday, and we'll meet back on Monday and celebrate this victory. I love all y'all. Bye-bye, everyone.
Appreciate Waylon calling in there. And in the words of all former players that come to the University of Alabama, the thing as always, when your career ends in Tuscaloosa, the fans ask you 3 questions as a former player. Well, 4 questions. Number 1, how many national championships did you win? Number 2, what was your record against Auburn? Number 3, what was your record against Tennessee? And number 4, what was your record against LSU? So, what was your record against Auburn? Definitely a big deal when it comes down to the Alabama fan base in terms of the players. But we got some super chats to get to. Let's run them down here, Eli. First off, Brian Watson with that $4.99. Showing love right there, helping us out, dancing. Stephen appreciating that right there. He's getting down to business. We go down now to Nona Davis. Nona with the $10 donation. Appreciate Nona. We go on down to my man Tobias from Fresno, California. That 50-piece right there. We drop down to Mechanic with that 2001 in the super chats. Love it right there, Mechanic. Then we go down to SMK Man. SMK Man, that $20 donation in there from him. And that means that $100 super chat goal has been met. Give yourselves a hand. The Alabama football family. You guys making this your show, your network, platform, channel, space to talk Bama football. We go to our call topic right here, that being on 1, Kyrie Jackson, Alabama defensive back, second-year DB, transferred in from junior college. And Kyrie, who had missed a few games this season, at first it was, an ankle injury, lower body issue, but Coach Saban added more to the situation today in his presser. He said Kyrie Jackson suspended. Don't know what Jackson did. Saban didn't go into it, didn't divulge information, didn't unveil information. All he said was Kyrie Jackson is suspended. So at this point, your 2 starting corners, you know them as Kool-Aid McKinstry and Eli Ricks. First guy off the bench is Terrion Arnold. Another corner that needs to be worked in there, Earl Little, because he's back healthy, the freshman. Needs to be worked in there some. But Kyrie Jackson, according to Coach Saban, suspended as of now. But we take another break here on the show. Don't touch that down because when we return, we dive into a little bit of the Iron Bowl matchup here between not the Iron Bowl matchup. I don't know what was I thinking about the Iron Bowl matchup, but the Iron Bowl matchup will be the final topic of conversation. We're gonna the Iron Bowl matchup was the final topic of conversation. When we come back, and my mind stops going 100 miles per hour, we'll be back with the second part of the conversation right after this.
Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month or pay $74.95 for a full-year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
As we're back into the action here, folks, from the break, hottest show on the streets, talking Bama, in my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Thank God for Eli Walker, man. I mean, thank God for Eli. Eli sitting here screaming from the production studio. It's the what stood out from the Austin Peay game, man. Couldn't think of that for nothing in the world. I guess I must have Thanksgiving food, Iron Bowl, Dallas Cowboy football. I got a lot of things going on in my mind at one time. Wife and children. I got a lot of things going on in my mind at one time. So thank God for Eli trying to keep me on schedule. So Eli, if you're listening over there, because you are, I'll probably owe you $1 after this. Jeez. But here we go. Continue hitting that like button on the show. Show that support there for TDA. Hit that thumbs up. Give us that like button. Make this your network, your channel space to talk Bama football. All donations appreciated and welcomed here. But Bama to take on Austin Peay on last week inside Bryant-Denny. There was some good things that took place in the matchup. Still some things that made you scratch your head because you looked at it the first quarter and it was 7-0. You wonder, okay, Alabama's offense can only muster up 7 points in the first quarter against Austin Peay. What alternate universe are we in? What parallel dimension have we entered? And then, of course, Austin Peay, offensively, could have put up 14 points. Their receivers had a couple plays where they ran free on Alabama's secondary, and the quarterback for the Governors was a bit more accurate. Governors could have had 14 points offensively, but Bama got its second shutout of the season, joining its one from Utah State. We're at 155-0. Crimson Tide 34-0 over Austin Peay. So for Coach Saban, getting that second shutout of the season. Team performed a lot better there in the second half. He was pleased that Alabama performed in the second half against the Governors. But now we get into kind of the takeaways from the matchup. Number one, and we've mentioned it, Jase McClellan is starting to show his dominance as a running back. He's starting to show that dominance, number one. Number two, Alabama's defense starting to have success creating turnovers. They have this turnover drill every week in practice, and, Saban's been harping on, we got to be more physical, we got to knock the ball off guys, we got to get turnovers, got to create turnovers, and had not done that consistently, but against Austin Peay, Alabama was able to force 3 turnovers. Could have had 5 turnovers, but unfortunately, Will Anderson, Deontay Lawson had pick sixes, but they forgot to look the ball in before they started running. Kind of like putting the horse before the cart. Kind of like doing that. So yeah, or the cart before the horse. You know what the saying is. Anyway, they dropped opportunities at pick sixes, both Will Anderson and Deontay Lawson, but defense forced turnovers. Last but not least here, Bryce Young and Jermaine Burton, that connection finally had a big day. And we've been waiting on it all year. I mean, both guys played ball in California together in all those camps. Coach Saban in the spring, Jermaine Burton, the most consistent wide receiver on this Alabama roster. Even though he's been the most inconsistent receiver this season, or one of the most inconsistent, joining Trayshawn Holden. But against Austin Peay, Jermaine Burton showed up, finally. 6 catches, 128 yards, 2 touchdowns. Finally, that connection between he and Bryce Young managed to break out to the forefront there. But starting this thing off with Jase McClellan, I mean, he's looking dominant, people. He's looking dominant. Against Ole Miss, 19 carries, 84 yards. He put a lot of toughness in that offensive line. Had that front group really excited to block for him. And all those effort runs he had in the 30-24 win over the Rebels. And then he comes back against Austin Peay, has his best game of the year. 17 carries, 156 yards. First 100-yard game of the season for McClellan. 2 rushing touchdowns. Guy played well. Averaged over 9 yards a carry. Had a long run of 35 yards. Was just running through people. Once again, he's not built like a Derrick Henry or Najee Harris or Brian Robinson. kind of built more so like a Josh Jacobs. When you look at the way Jace is finishing these runs, it feels like Derek. It feels like Trent Richardson. It feels like Josh Jacobs. It feels like Najee Harris. It feels like it. When he puts his chest in the guys, runs guys to the ground, gets up, flexing on them, like he's, the big show out there. I mean, it feels like big-time running back. It absolutely does, especially with Jace being healthy this year. Because remember last year, he was your do-it-all running back between the tackles, in space, on the perimeter, as a receiver. Got hurt against Ole Miss. Now healthy, stronger. He said in the preseason that he was bringing the power, and he's showing it. Last 2 weeks of the season. Coach Saban even mentioned that when he recruited Jace in 2020 from Alito High School in Texas, that he knew how good Jace was. It's just the people in the media finally starting to kind of catch on that, wait, this McClellan kid is actually really good. He really, really good. So big ups there to Jace. As we look at now the Alabama defense, it did force 3 turnovers, 2 interceptions, one coming from Kool-Aid McKinstry, the other one coming from Brian Branch, who's having a heck of a year. Aside from Will Anderson and maybe Byron Young, Brian Branch is the 3rd player off this defense that needs to go to the NFL draft after this season. Brian Branch is the 3rd guy. I mean, he's been lighting it up. Yes, he's been called for a pass interference here and there. Sometimes you get victimized for that. Not necessarily the best cover guy right now, but does so many things well for this Alabama defensive secondary. When it comes to tackling, blitzing and getting home, toughness, breaking up on plays, delivering crushing hits. Brian Branch is just darting his way all over the field. He had an interception in the game. And Damon Payne, freshman, got a fumble recovery. Big moment for him, and he was on the ground celebrating. I don't know if he was doing like the cardiac arrest dance or trying to swim backwards. I don't know what Damon Payne, was he trying to hit the worm? I don't know what Damon Payne was doing. But the brother was happy. He was pumped up. Teammates around him pumped up for him. And that's big for his confidence moving forward. It's big for his confidence. You got to think he's going to have more opportunities against Auburn in the bowl game, and especially next season with Bama graduating some defensive linemen on to the next level. Losing Byron Young, losing DJ Dale. You could possibly lose Justin Aboigbe if he doesn't choose to use his 5th year and come back, recovering from the neck procedure there. So big upset to Damon Payne. But Bama could have had 2 more turnovers if Will Anderson holds on to the interception he had. Could have been a pick 6. The same thing for Deontay Lawson, but at least Bama defense forcing turnovers there. So, last but not least, Bryce Young, Jermaine Burton, that connection got going there against Austin Peay. Burton, 128 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. Both of Young's touchdown passes went to Burton. So, good to see the 2 guys that came in California. Prior to this game, Burton's best matchup this season was against Vanderbilt, where he had 94 yards receiving. When he finally gets a game that's better than the Vanderbilt game, and kind of quiet, very quiet for the most part for much of the season. So it was good to see Burton finally have a game where you're like, okay, he can, be a leading receiver. He can step out there and, make some consistent plays here for Alabama football. But those were just the things that stood out there from the Austin Peay game. Once again, it wasn't complete domination because for much of the game, the only guy that looked alive offensively was Jace McClellan. And then defensively, there were some moments where if Austin Peay would have hit on plays, they would have scored. Alabama also had 3 turnovers itself. A couple of those came on special teams, so it was not just the most dominant performance by the Tide, but if it can take what it did in the second half of Austin Peay and the second half against Ole Miss and apply those two games, those two halves, and play a complete full effort against Auburn, it can end the season with its 10th victory of the campaign. But we take another break here on the show, folks. We'll touch that dial because when we get back, we get back to you. Ring those phone lines. Give us your thoughts, your opinions, your conversations. Just let us have what you got. Let the chopper fall. Be back after this.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care in support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
All right, people, we're back into the action on the hottest show on the streets, dropping Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Continue hitting the like button. Give us that thumbs up. Hit the like button right here on the show. Make this your network, channel, platform, and space to talk Crimson Tide football. Also, people, tomorrow streaming right here on the TDA YouTube channel at 6 p.m. Central Time. We got the Bama Standard with my guys, Justin Riley, comedy legend Steve Brown, all SEC linebacker legend, and Bama legend Marvin Constant, two-time national championship running back, USFL champion, Bo Scarborough, yours truly, Stephen M. Smith. You got the Bama Standard tomorrow. You want fun, you want laughter, you want excitement, you want the Bama legends, you want hardcore conversations not being politically correct. You check out the Bama Standard on tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central Time, streaming right here on TDA's YouTube channel. But right now, we go to the phone lines to grab your calls. The call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. But I'm going to call in 205-448-1358. We grab this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Steve, what's up, man? This is Jay from Florence.
Jay, what's going on, my man?
Man, we didn't even get to see the young guns. Our coordinators suck so bad, man.
We didn't get a chance. We didn't get a chance to see him, Jay. I mean, and if we did, it came on the very last drive at the end where they just took a knee.
Man, Steve, I want to do something so bad to Bill. Like our real deal. 2 years out of our life, man. You just came here and stole money. You'd have made our players look like that. I mean, people just questioning Jermaine Burton like he just a horrible receiver or something. Man, I can't listen, man. I beat the first man off the route, but the route this man got me running, I'm running dead into something. Man, I can't do what I'm supposed to do. Man, see, this man Bill O'Brien horrible, man. And it is. Man, Steve Watt, man, Nick should have went ahead and fired that man mid-season, man. He did. Sometimes you can be a little too loyal, man. You can be a little too loyal. And we understand you gave Bill the job because he got fired. And what's his name? Belichick probably called you like, hey, man, give my boy a job. I'm going to draft your quarterback. Because that's how I feel like it went down, Steve. But that's just me.
I mean, Jay,
the young gun.
Like, Jay, you not off base to what that statement. I could literally see a situation where Bill Belichick called Nick Saban and was like, bruh, hey, man, hey, you know, give my boy Bill a shot. Put my boy Bill on game, and we'll draft Mac Jones, and we'll all just call it even. I could see I could see that conversation go down quite like that.
Because, I mean, nothing about Bill O'Brien
period. From his time, he was a good coordinator at Penn State. No, he wasn't, man. You just wasn't playing nobody. If you watched them Penn State team back then, they were struggling. You just had some big blank tight ends that you could just throw the ball up to, man. Like, man, we talking about real winning football, and that dude ain't never been no winner. I've been calling saying that this man has never did nothing for the game of football, winning-wise. For the last 2 years, I called and said that as soon as that man got hired, everybody after me called and said, oh, man, there's haters and blah, 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 and don't question Nick. Hold on, man. Listen, man, this one man I ain't going to question. That is Jesus. Man, and Jesus ain't here. So Nick, man, what was you doing? Oh, it was a homeboy job. Cool, we respect that. But could you at least respect us and get him gone? Damn, Nick, people really love Alabama, man. And for us to just keep sitting up here watching this, man, you know we going to watch it faithfully, man. Man, I'm scared Auburn going to beat us, Steve. I ain't going to lie. Auburn just going to come out there with a little more heart and passion. And Bill O'Brien going to be calling these same dumb plays. And we're going to be sitting there looking like, oh, well, next year. Well, damn, next year we're going to be losing all kinds of NFL talent off of a team that should easily have won the national championship this year. But because of horrible offensive and defensive play calling, it ain't got nothing to do with the players and lack of heart and all that people want to keep. It's play calling, dude. It's the fact that you can't adjust, period. And I don't even want to get on those Pete. Man, Steve. Man, what you want to do, Steve? I'll get Pete. He look like he could go. I got a little boxing background. Me and Pete, I feel like, you know what I'm saying, 3 minutes in the booth. I feel like you got 3 minutes with Bill O'Brien. I'll beat up Pete. What you want to do?
I mean, Jay, I've been begging. Put me in the booth. I got a notebook right here. I got a notebook right here full of plays that will actually work. I got one right here.
Yeah. Oh, you talk about the playbook. I'm talking about me and Bill O'Brien. I mean, me and Pete knuckling up, putting the dukes up.
You meant that. You meant that. Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm to the point where y'all, man, you did too much, man. You got my boys out there looking horrible. Will look like he don't even want to play, man. I'm talking about you steady got DeMarco and free safety. Everybody that's been watching us the last 15 years know this man ain't no safety. Brian Branch needs to be the safety, you know, but you steady going to keep putting him at nickel. That's stupid. But I can't, Steve, I don't understand. And it ain't like this whole loyalty. Like, what is that, man? Like, what is that? You ain't doing your job, you get gone. If you're not making the plays on the field, somebody's going to replace you. Nick, you got to do the same thing to these coordinators. And with that, man, I want Dan Mullen, Steve. We coordinator rehab everybody else. Shit, let's go get him. He crazy enough to win it for us.
I mean, you did it with Sarkisian, you did it with Lane Kiffin. Why not Dan Mullen?
Yeah. I mean that's just me, but I mean I like old Dan. He a little, you know what I'm saying? He a little weird, but ain't no wrong with weird.
Well, we can give Dan Mullen this. He do got a fresh box of Yeezy shoes. He got that.
Oh man, Steve, 2 years, man. 2 years, Bill O'Brien. He didn't really. This is the standard of Alabama that went down, man. Like, we was the most feared thing ever. Now, man, folks look at us like we Tennessee or something. We finna play Bama. Whoa, man, it used to be, oh, shit, we got to play Bama this week, y'all. Dang, man, the whole month of game planning just for this team. That's, man, I don't know. Oh, we know he's going to call a 8-man protection and send one guy on a curl route and one guy on a slant. And we're going to expect for Bryce to make a 80-yard bomb out of there. I don't get it, man. Like, see, I want to get in there. With them two coordinators so bad, man. I want to lock in with them so bad, man. Because y'all just stole all this money from my school and my peoples, man. And and you really ain't did nothing, period, man. We done gave this man 5, 6 years of excuses. We done gave Bill 2. When we go, man, we couldn't even see Jalen against freaking Austin Peay, Steve. I wanted to see the running back Miller. I wanted to see these kids, man. They playing Austin Peay. We got to struggle to put up 30 points, Steve.
I'm telling you, to score 7 points in the first quarter against Austin Peay, Jay, was highly disappointing. And that's just putting it lightly. To watch 7 points against Austin Peay in the first quarter, 7.
Man, I mean, good, man. So what we go from here now? Like the season over with, we got to beat Auburn. Man, Steve, what if these folks don't beat Auburn, man? Why did we lose to Auburn, man?
I'm gonna say this: if Alabama loses to Auburn, I mean, does Saban just decline the bowl invitation and just start firing people now?
Man, Steve, if we lose to Auburn, we ain't got to worry about firing Bill, because I'm gonna come get it. hey, y'all just put somebody on my books. I'm gonna go take that dub for the team, guys. I'm gonna smack him across his head till he can't see no more, guys. Cause I just don't get it, man. You got receivers that was Olympic track stars running 10 flats. Man, I got a play called go and get it. Go get the ball. I'm gonna throw it 100 yards. Hopefully you will be down there. You mean this man ain't even thinking that, Steve? Man, roll tide. I love y'all. We didn't even get to see the young guns against Austin Peay, y'all. Man, it ain't the players. It's the coordinators, man. It's the coordinators. They suck. We need to go get DeMeco Ryans from the NFL or one of these Alabama guys from somewhere else. Bringing them in for defense so they'll know the Alabama way and toughness on defense. And the offense, man, we got to get somebody that's going to run the ball up the middle with a heck of a screen, with a heck of an offensive just game plan. You got to be real creative. And I mean, look how South Carolina beat Tennessee. They didn't have no running back, Steve. They had a freaking tight end. Man, what that man do? Inside zone run all game, Steve. Inside zone. Hey, man, we ain't going to worry about you doing nothing else. Just run this ball up the middle for 6 yards. Far forward. Our coordinator can't even do that. I don't know, Steve. It's just so frustrating watching us this year, knowing the problem, and knowing this man getting paid to do that, man. But I love y'all, man. Roll Tide, man.
Jay from Sheffield, Jay from Florence, y'all. I mean, if Jay literally goes out there and smacks Bill in the back of the head to where he can't see, and who gonna put some money on Jay's books? Because Jay would really be taking one for the team. I mean, he would if he does this, he would really be taking one for the team right there. We're gonna take this call here live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, Stephen, Mattress Matt, Mobile.
Matt, what's happening, man?
Oh, I'm blessed, man. Yeah, everything he said was right on the money. You know, I've been a fan since I was 9. Watched the 92, 92 team beat the Hurricanes, and it just seems like there's been an identity, at Alabama, even before Saban was there. Where you have a simple defense, but you have like violent dogs on the defense, right?
Right.
And then you have an offense that you don't have a pro style drop back offense. Alabama's never had that. If they have, then it's been a boulder of a running back mowing people over. Okay, it's been a running game. Big old fat offensive lineman, big legged running back trying to mow these defenses down. And Bill O'Brien, he's taken the identity away from Alabama, and it's not exciting. I the last few games I have not looked forward to watching the game. I've always, even during our worst years with Mike Dubose and all those years, I still look forward to the Alabama games because we still had an identity despite the troubles we were going through. And it's always been Alabama roll tide, crimson tide, mow you over, wear the defense down football. And this Alabama football, we might have the crimson jerseys on, we might be in the same stadium, but we are not the same. This is not Alabama. And the fan, I know I'm not the only fan because every time I say something, I figure out thousands of other people have said the same thing. So I know I'm not the only one. But the fans are losing their passion, and they're not going to support another year of Bill O'Brien. If Bill O'Brien is back next year, I'm not going to watch Alabama football because it's not Alabama anymore. It's been hijacked by people that don't have our best interest at heart. We need to start putting winning and college foot we need to start putting the Crimson Tide as our first. We need to put that first. Okay, we need to support the players. We need to support the players that are working hard, coming up through the system, and we need to put them out there. And we need to have an identity. So we can say the old Florida coach Dan Mullen. We need to look at what kind of offense Dan Mullen runs before we just go out and just go out and hire him. We need to get his playbook and study it, and make sure that they're going to run a motion misdirection offense, because that maximizes the talent of the players. Because like the last caller was saying, we've got track stars on the team. Now everybody thinks that Alabama doesn't have any players. No, we've got the best players in the whole country. We got the best offensive players in the whole country. Yet we're the 19th ranked offense in the nation. That's not acceptable. I will say this about Pete Golding. Alabama is ahead of Georgia in yards per possession for the opponent. They're like maybe they might either be 0.1 behind or 0.1 ahead, but they're number 3 in the nation as far as yards per possession that we allow opponents to have. So Pete Golding is doing a good job in that area. I don't like how complicated the defense is, and we're kind of on our heels instead of on our toes aggressively because of how advanced the offense is. I'd rather him just run some kind of simple defense and let the players go out and be dogs. But he's doing a pretty good job. The problem with our defense is our offense, because our offense doesn't keep the ball for very many possessions. So the whole stress of the game is put on the defense because of Bill O'Brien. If we had Sarkisian or somebody running an updated offense, then our defense would be a lot better. Pete Golding would look like a lot better defensive coordinator if we had an offense. So we need to be really careful who we choose and who we hire, and make sure that they're going to take, if you have track stars out there, then you need to run a motion misdirection and have them and have the defense off guard, and then boom, you toss it. And I saw Sarkisian do this, and you just toss it out to this guy that's running like 30 miles an hour in the direction that the defense is having to catch up and go back to. I don't know what I'm talking. I don't have a good. I don't have a football terminology, but I know what I'm talking about because I know what I've seen, and I've watched film, and I can look and see what Bill O'Brien is doing is just a drop back offense, and you just run the receiver out and run a route like we're in kiddie ball. But there's kiddie ball running motion misdirection and option and spread football. Yeah, well, I mean that's what college football is going to, and that's what we have to go to, or we're not going to be able to compete. There's been Alabama teams that have way more losses and way worse seasons. That's still exciting to watch Alabama football. This is it's sad, because we're no longer the Alabama Crimson Tide. We are just some kind of NFL training school, basically. Doesn't matter. Winning has become less important than trying to prepare people for the NFL. We have to shift our priorities and put winning as number one. It doesn't matter if you need to run a pro-style offense to prepare people for the NFL. We need to run an offense that'll win the game. Because we got players out there where we could be scoring 50, 60, 70 points a game. We should have put up 70, 80 points against Austin Peay. We could definitely do that with the talent we have. We do not have a lack of talent. We got talent that's 4 deep, baby. We got the best talent in the country. But we have somebody that is a cancer and is just as good as in the grave as offensive coordinator. I have no clue why Saban hadn't fired this guy. We'd be better with teaching the team 5 plays of motion misdirection and running 5 plays, even if the defense knows what we're doing, than running a Bill O'Brien offense. You have a great night.
Appreciate Mattress Mac calling in there from Mobile. And I'll say this. When Alabama was looking for an offensive coordinator to replace Steve Sarkisian as he went to Texas, this was after the 2020 season, this was the spring of 2021, the pool of offensive coordinator talent was extremely slim. And that was the pool that Bill O'Brien was in. Now, I'm not saying that it was the right move to get O'Brien, absolutely not. I'm just providing the information to you that the pool to pick from was extremely slim. Now that we know that in these 2 years, it has not been what you want it to be, I, for one, do not see O'Brien in Tuscaloosa after the season because, it's been one disappointment in terms of inconsistent play after another, to where it's not only not exciting to watch, but some of these plays, it's just bad football. It's bad football. It's not proper use of the players. It's not coordinating and putting your guys, your best talent, in spots where they can really dominate and show off their skill set. Like, O'Brien's not doing that. He's not. He's upstairs trying to figure out what he scribbled down on the play sheet. I honestly don't think he knows what he even wrote on the play sheet, because he'd be kind of squinting like, is this a vertical or did I do a wheel route? What the heck is this? I don't know if Bill O'Brien even knows what he's written down. And if that's the case, goodness, that's messed up. If he does not know what he's even written down on the play sheet. But we're going to take this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Steven, is CJ from T-Town, man. The last caller, man, hit it right on the head, man. We got the best talent. We got it all. We got everything to make a powerful team, completely. But the coordinators won't put them in the spot to let it happen. And I'm the ultimate optimist. Look at here, Stephen. And I think it was the first call you had on the show, man. We still got a shot, and maybe we don't deserve that shot. Maybe we don't. But we're Alabama. We're Alabama. We need some Kyle from Foley. We need somebody to come in with some enthusiasm. We need something to come in. We still got a shot. TCU should have lost this weekend. Michigan should have lost. I watched both of them games, man. The last second field goals, man. People are running on the field, kicking field. Ridiculous. We still got a shot to get in the playoff. I think that if we got in the playoff, there would be a spark. I can't remember what caller said it, but there could be. I think it was Robert. To flip that switch. We still have a shot to get into the playoffs. If we get into the playoffs, there could be hell to pay for all these people that have run their mouth, all these Dorians, all these all these people in the media, and all these fans, Tennessee people, all these, just we're Alabama. We're not South Carolina. We're not Kentucky. We're Alabama. If we could get into the playoffs, man, if we could get there, it would make a big difference. We could actually make some people want to, Alabama got in? Oh, we got in. Yeah, and we could really hurt some people. So I'm the ultimate optimist. TCU is going to lose. LSU is going to lose. USC is going to lose. That puts us right there. And I don't know what your thoughts about that, brother, but that puts us in number 4. Can we get in? Do you think we can get in if that happens?
If that happens, and this is why, CJ, I go back to Bama's strength of schedule. Even as a 2-loss team, you look at the teams that Bama has played. Texas has had a good year. That helps out Alabama. Ole Miss has had a good year. That helps out Alabama. Tennessee's had a good year. That helps out Alabama. Bama's strength of schedule in terms of the competition as a 2-loss team, if I'm in that college football playoff committee, that's exactly what I'm looking at. Because I'm saying, okay, yes, Bama has 2 losses, but their 2 losses come on a combined 4 points on the last play of the game. Is a 2-point. Bama's a stopped 2-point conversion and a made field goal from Will Reichert away from being undefeated. So that strength of schedule, if I'm the committee and it comes down to a TCU loss, an LSU loss, a USC loss, and you're looking at 2-loss Bama at number 4, if I'm the committee, I go to that strength of schedule and I say, hey, that Bama strength of schedule pretty much better than everybody else on here.
My sentiments exactly, Stephen. I was listening to the USC UCLA game, and whoever the commentators were on whatever the broadcast was, man, they were saying, and they were giving up the update on the LSU score and the Alabama score, and I remember the guy saying, he said, "Oh, ain't it so nice that you get to play Austin Peay and UAB in November?" And I'm sitting there thinking, you don't play nobody. You ain't never played nobody. So the strength of schedule. Man, that's what I keep thinking about. I want all my teams, man, everybody we play. I want you to win every game you can. Win them all until you see us, because we're Alabama. It really does hurt my heart, Stephen, to hear ex-players and people saying, well, the years, and callers saying the year's over. Let's just go to next year. No, if it works out that we can get in there and we can get something done, let's get it. And the strength of schedule, man, if any of those, if Michigan, Ohio State, USC, Penn State, whoever it is, if they come down to the SEC, it wouldn't just be a half a year, you get your ass beat, and you run around and tell mama, oh, I got my ass beat again. But they play in these little powder puff leagues, which is fine. That's just the way it is. But this is Bama. This is the SEC. So I think that if chaos does ensue, which it should have Saturday. It almost did. And I think we can get in the top 4, Stephen. And that's when I love the show, man. I just want to say roll Tide.
Appreciate CJ calling in from Titletown there in Tuscaloosa. And I'm now in a conundrum, man. I'm now in a conundrum. Do I enjoy all the Thanksgiving food I want to? Or do I watch all the chaos ensue? I mean, what do I do here? Do I eat all the Thanksgiving food I want to, catch the itis, get a good nap in, you feel me? Or do I sit there and try to watch as much chaos ensue in college football as I can? You know what? Drop your comments in the chat line. What should I do over Thanksgiving? Should I eat all the Thanksgiving food I can, get the itis and sleep it off, or watch all of the chaos that I can watch ensue in terms of Alabama and trying to get into this playoff? But gotta shout out JD Long with that $4.99 in the super chats. Appreciate JD Long helping us out right there. Dancing Steven does also. Cool call topic right here. We go to Jalen Hurts as the Eagles back in the win column. Got the 17-16 victory over the Indianapolis Colts on Sunday. Philadelphia 9-1 on the year. And Jalen Hurts put the team on his back against Indy. Total 2 touchdowns in the game. Brought the Eagles back from being down, I think 10-0 to win 17-16 on the final drive where Philly was down 16-10. Jalen Hurts took the team downfield 75 yards in 8 plays. Capped off with a 7-yard touchdown run by him. I mean, Jalen is showing you all the traits of him becoming a very good quarterback in this league. We know he can run the football. He's showing you he can pass the ball accurately. He's showing you he can run an offense. He's showing you he can lead, come from behind drives and win games. I mean, he's putting it all together right now. And, Hurts this season, 23 total touchdowns, 3 picks. Yeah. 23 total scores for Jalen, 3 picks. He has 6 games this season where he's completing over 60%. He's got 7 games this season with a passer rating of 100 or better. He is tied for 9th in the NFL with touchdown passes with 15. Guys playing big ball right now. Hurts is playing big ball right now, and he's having fun with it. He's having a lot of fun with it. We're going to take our final break here on the show. Folks, don't touch that dial. When we get back, we lay down, preview, Bama, Auburn, the Iron Bowl. The GOAT, Nick Saban, the interim head coach, Carnell Cadillac Williams. How will this play out? We'll tidy up loose ends after this.
Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
What's going on, people? We're back into the action from the break on a Monday. Hottest show on the streets, talking Bama football in my own words. Yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Got the man Eli Walker in the production studio. Over 190 people in the chat. Continue to hit that thumbs up, hit that like button, run those likes up there. Making sure show your network, platform, channel, and space to talk Crimson Tide. Folks, don't forget tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central Time, streaming right here on the TDA YouTube channel. We got the Bama Standard with my guys, Justin Riley, comedy legend Steve Brown, all SEC legend, and Bama legend at linebacker Marvin Constant, 2-time national champion and USFL champion Bo Scarborough. Yours truly, Stephen Smith here. You want the legends, you want the fun, you want the not being politically correctness, so you check out the Bama Standard tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central Time, streaming right here, TDA's YouTube channel. Also, don't forget about TDAwear.com. That's TDAwear.com. It's not too late to get your gear. Yes, it's the final game of the regular season, the Iron Bowl, rivalry week, Bama-Auburn. Still get your gear. You'll rock your brand, team, the people give you the information on your team, us here at TDA. So get your swagger sauce, drip, clothing, cultural fashion needs right here. TDAwear.com, link in the description. Showing that support for Coach Saban, the University of Alabama, the student athletes, and us here at TDA. But Iron Bowl on Saturday. CBS will have the call. 2:30 p.m. Central Time kickoff. Bryant Denny, Tuscaloosa, SEC Network, SEC Nation will be in T-Town for this matchup right here. And normally, Elon, the Iron Bowl would have SEC championship implications, college football playoff implications, national championship implications. We've seen this game have Heisman Trophy implications. We've seen a lot from this rivalry right here. But this time around, the big bragging rights, man. 364 days a year. Big bragging rights right here. A win for Auburn would make them bowl eligible and would really, have the Auburn Nation happy with Carnell Williams. Now, am I saying that a win against Alabama would have the powers that be at Auburn hand Cadillac the keys to the car and let him be the head coach at Auburn? I'm not saying that, because Auburn still has their guy in the back of their mind that they want to hire. What a great job that Cadillac has done in infusing energy into this team. A win for Alabama would make it 10-2, would position it for an even better bowl game, possibly a New Year's Six bowl, and continue the trend of winning at least 10 games a year, going back to 2008 for Coach Saban. So this Iron Bowl, very, very interesting, very intriguing. You got the one that everybody esteems as the GOAT, Nick Saban, versus the interim head coach in Cadillac Williams. And I got a chance to speak to Coach Saban today in his press conference, asking him about, the energy that Williams has infused into this Auburn team. And, he spoke on, Cadillac's done a great job over there. Remember, when Nick Saban was in the NFL coaching the Dolphins, he had the chance to draft both Ronnie Brown and Cadillac Williams from Auburn. He had a chance to draft both of them. And during the draft process, Saban liked both of them from Miami. However, we saw what happened. Miami took Ronnie Brown, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers took Cadillac Williams. So we all saw how that kind of unfolded there. But, when you look at Williams, the way he was as a player for Auburn, the toughness, the physicality, the hard hat, hard-nosed mentality, the energy, the effort, the enthusiasm, he's bringing all of that as a coach. And these guys are running hard and playing extremely hard for him. This is the same Auburn that beat Texas A&M this season. And a Texas A&M team that, with the NIL, bought them a class, trying to buy a championship. And, well, Jimbo, that didn't happen. That 10 years, $75 million. That didn't happen there, Jimbo. That did not happen there. Did not go according to plan there. But Auburn. And they're going to come in, Eli, with a lot of energy. Auburn's going to come in with a lot of zeal, a lot of effort. They're going to come in with huge intensity because they're going to feel like we're right there and we're going to go knock the door down. That's how Auburn's going to come in feeling. Alabama can't come out of that locker room sleepwalking around, lethargic, not really caring. You can't have that. You cannot have that. Because if Auburn hangs around in this game, it's going to be extremely interesting. I go back to last year. Last year, Auburn didn't have much on the field, but boy, did the Tigers hang around. Boy, did they play with energy, heart, toughness, a lot of effort. Kept punching Alabama, getting to Bryce Young for sacks. I couldn't hear it, Jordan-Hare. It's 10-3 Auburn. Fourth quarter, a minute 27 to go. Bryce Young with the ball on his own 3-yard line. You got to go 97 yards in 12 plays. You want to talk about heart attack on a stick? Bryce got it done, though. He got it done. No doubt about that. He got it done. Bama won the game in 4 overtimes, 24-22. But how many of you as Alabama fans want to see that again? Not many of you do. Not many of you do. So, Bama cannot go out there like nonchalantly lollygagging around. That's not going to work. especially against a team that's got fresh energy and an interim coach that's got it playing very, very, very well here. So, which Alabama team shows up against Auburn? Will it be the Alabama team that showed up in the second half against Austin Peay and Ole Miss? Like it really wants to play? Like it really, really, really wants to play? Or will it be the Alabama team that showed up against Tennessee, against LSU, against Texas, that just kind of walk its way in and either had to fight to win or drop the game? It'll be interesting, but I think this year's Iron Bowl very, very, very intriguing here on both sides. But as always, Bama Nation, you want the best in news, notes, information, entertainment, and coverage here on your favorite program. That being the Crimson Tide. You can get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama magazine app. Now, you download the app from the iPhone App Store. If you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store. You got the Android phone. For your audio needs, check us out. iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, or iHeartRadio. We got you covered. The good and gracious Lord sees fit. We'll be back again this week, either Wednesday or Friday, continuing the conversation that is Tide football. Remember, Bama fans, you can purchase individual copies of Touchdown Alabama magazine. Have those sent to your door. That link will be found in the description. If you're trying to get your hands on the fresh edition, print edition of TDA the magazine, here's what you do. You go to touchdownalabama.com, you click join, become a member or a subscriber today. That link in the description as well. Folks, gotta shout out you guys, the outstanding fans of Alabama football. All the phone calls, the love, the donations, the super chats, conversation in the chat line. Appreciate all that you do. Gotta shout out my man Eli Walker in the production studio. Even when I lost my train of thought, Eli was right there. Appreciate him helping me get back on track there. Also, tomorrow, don't forget the Bama Standard, streaming right here, 6 p.m. Central Time. PDA's YouTube channel. Get there, Bama Standard tomorrow at 6 p.m. Well, folks, as always, husbands, love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands, children. You guys continue doing the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing, too. Not be bored there. Get you those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself. You protect the loved ones around you. Enjoy the Thanksgiving holiday season upon us. Don't eat too much. At least try not to. And until next time, folks, I'm your man, Stephen M. Smith. This has been In My Own Words.